Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Allahu Akbar. Ahad. Assalamu alaikum Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakat. Ahad. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Mothers of the human race, today we are going to visit the Magna Carta on which the United Nations Security Council based its original foundation stone. In the Magna Carta was a stone which came into existence after the Second World War. In the Magna Carta, I will try to interpret this very special ayah and scared ayah of the Holy Quran, in which on so many occasions I've said that bloodshed, the spilling of blood of your own children, is forbidden. The spilling of blood of any living human being is forbidden. There, in that interpretation, the Magna Carta presented a whole whatever of what had happened in Second World War as well as in First World War, and genocides before that. But it was never properly interpreted to mothers. It was never properly interpreted to mothers. Magna Carta, I think the right of that whatever was my mother. A mother who had looked at the atrocities, the bloodshed, the carnage of what you call the madness of the Second World War and First World War. In that, whenever my mother used to turn around, all she could see was what we call limbs and limbs of men who have been kind of decimated by their association with what we will call weapons. Weapons which had threaded every part of a human integrity at that time. The weapons that were produced during First World War, or what were produced after the Industrial Revolution, became what made and traded integrities of the human race. In that, My mother, who had witnessed in the First World War, Second World War, sat and looked from every direction. And they said, let us start what we call the United Nations in order, the United Nations Security Council, in order to do what a mother would do, to prevent your own hands as a mother cutting or shredding your own children into what we call pieces. Shredding and cutting your own children into pieces, as if you are to cut them or put them in a pan and fry them, they are going to be anything good to you. That's why in the interpretation or holy divine interpretation of the most holy, scared verses, ayahs of the Holy Quran, Allah says, human being, the human race, the creation human being are forbidden bloodshed of yourselves as human beings, as well as those around you as companions. As mothers, you are forbidden because you are always in the kitchen preparing something for your children with a knife in your hand. And then Magin Carter came in and said, imagine you as a mother who carried a womb for 9 months, and that womb may have been a girl or a boy, and you gave birth, and out of nowhere, then you start that Second World War, First World War, and all the Genesis puts you in what we call a liability, which we looked at 11 centuries of a liability, very, very dirty liability, very, very sick, very dirty liability, whereby men, not knowing that there had been First World War, they are not knowing there had been Second World War, they went back in the same kind of unconscious state of manufacturing weapons. And then they had also forgotten what it is, what Magin Carter meant. Magin Carter was a woman who said, no, this cannot happen. We cannot go back to what had happened. Taking our own children on what we call the front lines in Germany, all over the world, in what we call the Second World War. Weapons manufactured by our own hands. Imagine holding a knife in your hand with a defenseless child in front of you. What would you do? So that's why the United Nations Assembly, or United Nations Assembly, was founded to prevent a human being in the structure of a being in the structure of a human being going and manufacturing weapons, like a mother who has mothers are very special creation, because his mother, a mother who who said the Magin Carter, who drafted that very beautiful article, but it was never properly interpreted to the human race. Because as a mother who carries a child in your womb for 9 months, and then you have sometimes when the children have become of left after 2 years, you can pick a fruit, and the only way they can eat that fruit is by, if you peel off a little bit of, let's say, some fruits they need to be prepared so that they don't present danger till the little baby's mouth. So you use a knife to peel off those whatever and make it clean and ready for the child to eat. But in that, there is an interpretation that a mother who carries a child for 9 months should always be reminded, and men and women should always be reminded of the bloodshed of the Second World War and First World War and of any atrocity that God has happened on this planet. When I tell you do not shed blood of one another, yes, I mean it. It's very, very painful. Very, very, very painful to lose a single human being in recklessness that humans are advanced in weapon manufacturing. That is very dirty. That is very sick. On which, to present day, I do beg every mother to understand my interpretation that a mother who prepares, when a mother is in the kitchen preparing something, she tells her children, do not come in the kitchen while I'm preparing or cooking, because fire burns. Fire burns. If even any one of you have ever been in an accident with fire, you'll find that the fire leaves scars on each human body. And those scars, whenever the sun in the sky recites its eyes, that fire ignites inside your whatever, however much, so long as it's a scar of a fire. And so long as it's a scar of what you call weapons, I wouldn't advise any human being to manufacture any more weapons than that what you have already. And what you have already, you should dig what you call holes and bury them, and we move on a new page where when those weapons are buried, your dirty practices of human trafficking, adultery, and all sorts of drunkenness, and the dirty curriculum which drove all those very, very stagnant, dirty theologies, and what brought about nuclear weapons on the table, and so many, many, many dirty things in an age where men, they even use words that are very, very blasphemic when you say the sex industry. What does the sex industry involve? Mothers, women, any woman, any little girl, anywhere on this planet. I'll tell it to you, men. Any girl, any woman is honored by Allah. And do not ever go out of your head and say, either enter such a dirty state that you are raping a woman. You may be raping your mother, but in a different image. Can you imagine? And that's why Allah says when he brings you onto this planet as a little baby from your mother's womb, you are helpless. Helpless. Helpless and vulnerable. So with that, Allah never wanted men to look at their mother's blood whatsoever. That way, men and women, do not look at the blood of others and you take it as a joke. It's a curse to look at or to shed blood of fellow human beings. It's a very, very deadly side. And all that the theologies which has been promoting, the crucifixion of Jesus and so on and so on, those psychological weapons and pictures of that whatever should be removed from all the act, our labor there, and buried together with the weapons that men manufactured over the years. That way you start a new page for your future generations of little boys and little girls and women and men to live in a very, very beautiful world without bloodshed, without weapons. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Allahu